Hey, this is Matt once again. What about you in the video? This is another paid request, this time for, I'm sorry if I butcher his name, Ciaran? Ciaran? C-I-A-R-I-N. I'm not sure if it's Ciaran? I apologize for butchering it. But he sent in a paid request, thank you, for me to review The Last House on the Left from 1972. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, randomness, out of blueness, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for, well, I already said the title. Wes Craven's film that kind of brought him to the table of horror films and films in general, really, which would lead to The Hills Have Eyes, then a few years later, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Serpent and the Rainbow, Shocker, People Under the Stairs, among many others, Scream. Love Wes Craven, may rest in peace, one of my favorite directors. My personal favorite of his is Shocker, then The People Under the Stairs, Serpent and the Rainbow, Nightmare on Elm Street. Love Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I do like Scream. I'll be honest, Last House on the Left and Hills Have Eyes, I've never been a big fan of his stuff in that. I don't know if this would be a rant. I don't know. But, well, it probably will be a rant. I don't know if I'll tell it a rant, just, I don't know, because I don't feel like it. But I did what it was trying to do. It's supposed to be unsettling. I did that. And it's about civility breaking down. So you have the civil parents, and you show them breaking down because of the death of their daughter, and how even these parents can turn into killers, just like these other killers are. Just much more vile killers. I get that. It's based on the Virgin Spring. You got David Hess, who I do enjoy in the movie, because I think gives a very solid. I think he's definitely the best actor in the film. He also brings some songs like The Road Leads to Nowhere, which I do like that song. The road leads to nowhere. And before I go on, I would say people don't get mad at me for this, but fuck it. I like the remakes of these films more. The Last House on the Left remake and the Hills Have Eyes remake I liked a lot more. The Hills Have Eyes original, other than Michael Berryman, it's kind of like this. Both films I like. I think the villain, Michael Berryman and David Hess, are the best people in the movie. They work very well in being these villainous cretins that you just love to hate. But the rest of the actors I thought were rather lame. I thought they were pretty poor. I don't think they were that good. And I think the acting in the remakes are better, and the way they handle the story I like more. Where I think the remake The Last House on the Left, you still get the idea of this, but it has a more consistent tone. And again, I think the performances by both the parents are much better compared to the parents in this. And like the remake, I think Doug, who back to the day I kind of looked like Doug from the Hills Have Eyes remake. I love the whole finale in the remake of Hills Have Eyes. That's like a Sergio Leone bloody western. Like whether, or Sam Peckinpah, maybe that's a better term. Sam Peckinpah. Like just with music that felt like Ennio Morricone. I love the finale, the revenge. It's like a gory western revenge type of thing at the third act of Hills Have Eyes remake. I love that. I love that finale. It made me fall in love with that film. I thought Alexander Aja did a wonderful job with that. And I think that remake rocks. I love the Hills Have Eyes remake much more than the original. Again, I know people don't be pissed at that. I think the remake is much better. The tone in this is so goddamn inconsistent, it ruins any mood the film's trying to make. And I know people say that the comedy in this is made to nullify or to go off track the vileness of what's going on. Because I was saying, it's based on the Virgin Spring. It's about these two girls that want to see this band called Bloodlust. one that leads to another. These four bad guys. This guy who likes to go ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. This bitch, this other guy, and David Hess get these girls, brutalize them, tell one to piss their pants. One tries to escape, they kill one. The other, they do the bingo bango horizontal tango unwillingly. In her terms, unwillingly. To them, they had their fun. But then you see, like, the fun's kind of lost as she's praying and she goes in, and you see more of that sadness, as it should be, and then they kill her, like their sacrificial lamb. And I get what Wes Craven's trying to do. I like the bit where she goes into the water in this prayer thing, and before they're all happy and giggles, now they're serious, and David Hess shoots. That's a well done scene for the most part, but even then, I think Wes was rough around the edges in directing. Like, you get these random sporadic edits. Like, David Hess shoots, then it cuts to a dog that someone has on a leash, and then it cuts back to our characters. And I'm thinking, okay, what's going to happen with that dog now? Nothing. I'm like, sometimes the editing is and Wes Craven had worked on the editing. So I think sometimes the editing is just too sporadic and spastic. And the comedy, man, where you'll have this, you'll sad scene, and then it'll cut to these two goofy cops. One of them is Martin Cove, Master Kreese from Karate Kid. This is before he did that movie, of course. Where they're going somewhere, but they run out of gas. Or they're going somewhere, and there's this toothless lady with a chicken truck. They get on the chicken truck, and they fumble around as if it's Keystone Cops, Three Stooges stuff. And you have this weird music, even with the crooks, the bad guys, where this with the fucking kazoo sound. My Jim Bob and cool, my Jim Bob's in the cooler. Where the fuck the lyrics were? Jim Bob and Joey and Timmy and Rob. Where the fuck? Such an inconsistent fucking tone, and people go, well, again, Matt, it's so that people wouldn't be so upset. But that's like if Seven with say Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman find the dead body of the guy that's been overfed and he's really, really fat to burst through the seams of his body. That scene plays out. Then it cuts to Chris Farley and David Spade as two police officers, and they're on a case, or they're doing something, and then Chris Farley in his police uniform takes David Spade's police uniform and goes, fat guy in little coat, fat guy in little coat, what's happening, Richard? And then the fucking police uniform tears, uh-oh. Then it cuts to Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman on the case again. Or you cut to that intense scene with Leland Orser talking about how the guy, which we find out to be Kevin Spacey, forced him to do this vile act with a knife and all this. Then cut to David Spade and Chris Farley in a cop car trying to get to the scene, and they're at a gas station, and you have the door thing where it breaks. And then David Spade tries to get the door, and it falls, and then Chris Farley goes, what did you do? And, the top door, the door of the cop car falls apart. You'd be like, what the fuck? Maybe some people would see that movie. Part of me now wants to see that movie. But, you know what I mean? Like, it just, to me, it doesn't work. It's like, you're trying to have this terror, and then it gets so diluted that it becomes goofy to me. And it ruins any effect that you're trying to maintain, at least to me. Just at the point that you're getting maybe horrified, then it's like... Like Freddy Krueger, when he says a one-liner, "This is God." In Nightmare on Elm Street 1, and even Wes Craven did direct, but Elm Street 2, even Shocker, to be, it's just more fun. And, well, yeah. Cat agrees. I did not, yeah, Cat's a Shocker fan. I agree. Hail to Shocker. No more Mr. Nice Guy. And then when the acting of the parents, I thought were the weakest in the movie. I didn't care for their acting much. So the parents, there's these people they invite over, which is a bit weird because their daughter is missing, but they invite people in. It's like, shouldn't you be more... You think you can't get in touch with your daughter when you want to go to your cops right away, but you invite people in, whatever. That's so that we get the idea that the bad guys realize which house they're in, and the bad guys talk too much, and they realize something's going on, and they find their daughter who dies, so they want revenge. And spoiler alert, the mom bites the guy's dick off after seducing him. The one guy gets led by David Hess to blow his own brains out. The mom cuts the one lady's throat, and the dad, after getting his ass whipped, has a chainsaw. And again, because you don't really see much, you see the chainsaw, it's not really much of a fight, kind of a, where I go, and then kills David Hess, but you don't see anything. So it's not like it's gory or anything, you don't see anything. And it's like, oh, well, you gotta fun, have all this respect that you want. I don't think it's that good of a movie. And you know what, fuck it, I will say it's a rant. Not because of the subject matter, because I don't think it's that well. I think there's much better. Seven by David Fincher is much more of a better, harsh, violent movie about the cruelty of man. That to me is a much better detailing, much better directed, and I love Wes Craven, but I don't think this is one of his better directing efforts. Serpent the Rainbow? Yes. People on Their Stairs, which deals with weird stuff and humor, I think better than this, in my opinion. Again, if I want to see the story, I think the remake does it better. In my opinion. I like David Hess. I like The Road Leads to Nowhere. That's really all I got for it. The dialogue. Tits, what's this tits business? If I wanted to hear that, I'd be back at the barracks. The one, again, the one the bad is going, ribbit, 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 ribbit. It's like, unless you're saying Budweiser, I don't want you saying ribbit anymore. And yeah, fuck, it is a rant because I don't like the film. If someone asked me, again, to me, Wes Craven started with A Nightmare on Elm Street. A lot of people love Last House on the Left. It's not because I hate 70s movies. Rituals with Hal Holbrook, I love. That's a 70s film. Halloween, John Carpenter, love that film. Solomon Precinct 13, I know it's not a horror film, but I love that film. Duel, one of the best TV movies ever made. Love that film. Even, thrillers like Rear Window back in the day with Alfred Hitchcock, The Birds. Dawn of the Dead. George Romero's Dawn of the Dead is literally one of my favorite films of all time, and my favorite zombie film. So it's not because I don't like 70s movies. I just don't like those two movies, which were in the 70s. Last House on the Left, Hills of Light. Never been a fan of them. Again, I think the editing is all over the place. The acting, especially from the parents, are not that good. And the tone is so inconsistent that any amount of horror is quickly diluted. And it's not even good humor. It's not even funny humor. If you don't put humor in there, at least let it be funny. Two goof cops ready for Barney Fife to arrive. Barney Fife is more competent than these two fucking jamotes. And fucking chicken trucks and that music, it was annoying. It sounds like a fucking episode of Hee Haw or some shit. And like again, it's not like you get gore for that. And by the time the revenge happens, I just don't care. I'm already put off by the weird, every all over the place fucking tone. I'm like, whatever, just end it. So yeah, I've never been a fan of the movie. If you guys love it, cool, good on ya. This is where we agree to disagree. And yeah, there are 70s films I like. Legend of Hell House, that's another one. With Roddy McDowall. Legend of Hell House I enjoy. So Legend of Hell House, Rituals, Halloween, Dawn of the Dead, Duel, 70s movies I enjoy much more than this. Or Hills of Ice. So with that said, thanks for watching. Even Black Christmas, I would put Black Christmas above this. So thanks for watching. Take care. And I think John Carper. I think Wes Craven would do better work. I know I keep trying to end this review, but I keep wanting to add more. I think Nightmare on Elm Street is when his track record of good films started. I know I repeated that, but oh well. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.